The people used to use them. It is acceptable. Welcome to
What's up?
Tuesday Shark Tank,
Happy,
where we'll
happy
only
Shark Tank.
where we'll only analyze our deals because no one else submits deals. It's amazing how that
I
works.
think no one else has any good deals, Sadan. You know, it's tough to get a deal. I've been looking for deals here in Zurich for the last 2 days, and no deals so far. So I don't know if there's any deals anywhere in the world.
Well, there's deals somewhere because papi no tengo nada de cambio. Disculpa. Well, let me tell you something. I know it's hard to find a deal because I know, but when I say or we say make 100 offers, because by the time you put in your head I'm going to make 100 offers, by the time you get to offer number 20, you're probably getting a deal under contract, which is the deal we're going to talk about right now, which is Ponce that I should put under contract today. But my brother, who's here, who
Hey,
I'm
Seba.
teaching how to be a wholesaler, found the deal after 20 different offers, 20 different deals. Finally got one. It's a pretty good deal, and let's talk about it now. So I have it under contract for 52,000. I am thinking the renovation is going to be 60,000. Well, I already have a quote from the contractor, 60,000. It's a
Who's the
little bit.
contractor you're going to use out there?
I can't tell you. I'm not telling anybody. No one gets them. No one. I'll give you every other contractor except this guy.
Is he coming from San Juan, or
You
he's
you
out
know this
out there?
guy. You know him well.
Okay.
Um,
He's traveling, but he'll be all right.
so he's not traveling. He has crews everywhere apparently. But the point is, um, it's about 57,000 the renovation, but I'm putting it up to 60 so that way we have some money just in case. ARV we're looking at the lowest 160, best case scenario 160, and then I'm gonna start selling at 180. It's a
Wait, the
2-2
the
in
low the
Ponce.
lowest, the worst case is 160. You're going to start asking 180, and you're
180, 175 around there, and I'll play around.
yeah.
But
But your worst
but
case scenario, you're going to sell it for 160.
it should be because things around the area that are not fixed up are selling for around 140. And this is Ponce. So let's talk about a little bit about Ponce. Ponce is up and coming. It has the only port in all Puerto Rico that can receive the biggest cruise ship in the world. The Intercontinental Hotel is a $44 million investment that's getting completed soon. Hopefully, they're open by summer or something like that. And then there's more investments of a hotel slash what do you call it, racetrack project going to Ponce. And this house particularly is 3 blocks away from a Parque de Bombas. Who, if anybody knows, you have the that's where everybody and their mom shows up when you go to Ponce.
So that's
So
that's like
it's
two
really
three
good
blocks off of
location.
the Pueblo, right in the heart of the town.
Correct.
And guys, Ponce is one of the most fun towns. If you ever get a chance, they've got great food. It's a very, very, very good looking town. Outside of Old San Juan, I think it's one of the best looking pueblos on the island.
Yes. And I'm driving
Um,
around right now, guys. I can't show photos, but that's the deal. If you're interested in that, you can reach out to me directly. I already put it on the contract today, so that's how I roll. We have it under contract, so we're ready to start moving forward with things. I already have
so
a bid from the
now you're looking for
contractor.
a partner.
We're pretty much looking for a
So Don, let me
partner,
ask
and
you
I'm
a few
waiting on a
questions
closing
about the
date,
deal.
and we should
Let,
be
let me ask you a couple
go
questions
for
about
it.
the deal. You're buying it for 52,000. Your worst case scenario is 160. So that is like the
Yeah.
70% rule, like to a T. You're dead nuts on that. And you think you're likely going to sell it for 175, something like that. Is that right?
I think, yeah, around that range is my real expected. You know, someone asked me a couple of weeks ago, it's like, why don't you just start right at market value? Because usually when you start right at market value, people wanna negotiate down from there, and I don't like doing that. I rather start high and negotiate from there all the way down to where my bottom number is.
I
So
will tell you something that we
we
have
need that
said for
number.
years and years. You can always come down in price. So when you're
100%.
when you're
Never go up.
thinking about renovating something, you renovate it up to the best that you can get it, and then price it at the top of the market and see what happens. You
Yep.
can always lower the price. You're never going to get more. I mean, if you're right, Adon. If you put it out there at 160, you're going to get 160 or less. Maybe
Hmm.
sometimes you'll get a little bit more. And we are in a market where things are getting better. So I think, knowing that it's worth 160 is your worst case scenario, I'd I'd probably go out to the market at 199 after you do a renovation.
Don't tempt me. We'll see after the renovation.
It just, there's not a lot of stuff that's renovated on the market over there,
Well,
even in
especially over
Ponce,
there.
even in
Yeah.
Ponce.
I drove by Ponce and all I saw was for sale signs everywhere. Now the difference is these are buildings that are getting sold, and I'm gonna start calling them as well because man, if you can have an apartment complex right in the middle of Ponce for for a really good price, I mean, I want to be there. You know.
So Don, if you're looking for a partner on this, what would you be looking for?
Well, I'm either looking for a hard money loan or a partnership, and what I'm doing is so we'll do 50% of the profit. So the partner puts in all the money, I put in all the work, and then everybody gets their money back, and then we split the profit 50-50. Or
Yeah.
I'm open to hard money partnership as well, but terms do apply.
Yep. And so guys, if you're watching this and you're thinking, hey, I've been looking for a deal for a while and I haven't been able to find anything that's going to make sense, Don, he's really good at this. He's been doing it now for a couple of years and he's got a deal. And let's talk about the back end math. So we know that the 70% rule seems to work, but have you run the numbers? Let's say you sell it for 170
Yeah.
and you have the 60 in it plus the 52, so you're in it for 112, right?
Yep.
So and what do you think your costs are on the 170? 8%?
Yeah.
Something like that.
So when I do the math, I do 160. So I do it at 160 to be conservative, right? So I'll do 160 times 70, and then minus 10%, and then oh no, sorry, no, the profit math you're talking about, right? I do ten
Yeah, so
percent.
I just took
I do ten
170
percent.
guys and I took
Yeah,
off 8%. That
yeah,
should give you enough to have a realtor sell it, pay some closing costs, maybe even pay some closing costs for the buyer. And
yeah,
you'd come up with a net of around 157
yeah. Give
thousand,
or take.
something like that. And then you're going to be all in at 112. So that is almost dead solid on that 40% number. So Adon, if somebody comes in and gives you the 112, you're very likely going to get a 20% return, guys. That's
Yeah.
these 40% flips. That's what we've been doing for 8 years now, and that floor of about 40% returns, and depending on how fast you can do it, I don't know how hard this $60,000 renovation is, but I know
So it
you've got
needs
a
everything. It needs
yeah, but you
everything,
got a
and the
guy who's
guys
going to
like
do it
if I,
really fast too. So if you've got the
yeah,
money,
he
it,
he's pissed
it'll get
that
done
he's
quick.
taking too long at the other one. He's like, look, if I don't get out of here in 2 months, I'm gonna fucking kill somebody. I'm like, good. That's the attitude I want.
There you go.
I want to
So
be
think
back
about
on
that.
market by
You're
summer
talking about
before.
making a 20% return on your money for your partner. And if you can do that in between 6 and 9 months,
Yeah.
that 20% can turn into 40%, or it could turn into 50% at least over the course of a
Yep.
year. That's huge, guys. I mean, that's why we invest in real estate like this in Puerto Rico. And by the way, we just finished Adon's last flip, and did a little bit better than those numbers. Did you finalize those numbers and get everybody their money back with Dave this week, Adon,
Everybody
on the
should have their
Aguadilla
money in
flip?
their account. Yeah. Everybody should have their money back in their account by Thursday. Dave's taking care of all that right now. And then, but yeah, I mean, numbers. So if you talk to Dave, we had like a 48% return on the project. So it's a pretty
So that
decent
means
return. And that's overall.
our money partner is going to make about a 24% return. I think I calculated it out at about a 22% return. I'm over here in
Yeah.
Zurich screwing around, not really working. Today I wasn't able to put a video out for anybody because we went to the Lindt chocolate factory and
Oh,
actually
fuck.
had a relaxing day. And but tomorrow I'll be back at it, guys. Don't worry.
Why
And
we have
we're
Charles?
going to look at castles in Italy.
Damn it, Charles. Let us down. So that's deal number one. And then deal number two has some urgency because I've been after this deal for about a month and a half or a little bit more than that. And then they finally told me, hey, we can close Monday, maybe Friday. And this deal is Venus Gardens. I've talked about this deal before. We're purchasing it for 125, and I think it needs 100 grand in renovation. I don't fully think it needs 100, but the 100 is because there's a pool involved, and I'm not gonna demo the pool. I want to keep the pool, and just in case, pools are expensive, guys, here on the island. So I never dealt with the pool. The only other experience we have with the pool is building one out for the McMansion, and
Yeah,
that was a really expensive pool. So I could
yeah, that
imagine
costs
trying to
70
fix one is
grand or
going to be
so.
pretty expensive too. Yeah. So the machinery is usually around 5 grand, and then if there's a busted pipe, you got to dig it up. They got to remarmalize everything. I mean, I want to be safe. The house inside, I don't think it's I don't think it's in really not that bad a shape at all. It's in pretty good shape. So
And how much will you sell that house for?
I think the numbers there are looking like between 400 325.
Say that again, between 400 and what?
400,000 to 325, somewhere in
Well,
that range.
that's a big spread. 325 to 400.
325 is I think the conservative number I ran it on was like 300. That area is University Gardens. Everything there is expensive. It's
But you're
getting
going to be in
expensive,
it.
especially
You're going to be in it for 220, right?
yeah, 225. I should be
Well,
all
you
in.
better not sell it for 325 because that's no great.
I think we're gonna do better than that. But I mean, it's still 100
I
grand.
guess I guess that would be yeah, no, I guess that would be right there in the 70% rule too, huh?
Yeah.
If you get
It's still
325. Okay.
yeah. No, I think 325 seems likely. So if anybody's really interested in that one has more urgency than Ponce right now. So I have one sheet for all that stuff right now. I'm looking for two things: a coffee shop and a gas station, because I'm about to have to start pushing this truck. Well, my brother is. I'm gonna sit in the truck and drive.
You're going to tell them where to go, Don.
Yeah, mush.
Man, you're
Um,
working your brother to death.
yeah, he's a real estate investor. I guess the brand. So,
So
so
you
those are
so
my
you
two
need
deals
you
on the
need some
table right
partners on a
now.
couple of good deals, and back to the Venus Gardens. I think you probably get closer to 400 over
University,
there. University
University
Gardens.
Gardens.
Yeah. I think you're going to probably get closer to 400 over there, which is going to be
I
a
think so
pretty
too.
magnificent return. If you
But
only
but
get 325,000, you're probably falling below our 40% floor. but it'd still be a really good deal. It'd be a 30-something
It's
plus percent return.
still a good deal for somebody.
Yeah, and if you get 400, you're talking about a high 40s type of return, which
So
is
that's
pretty impressive.
Adon, is this
yeah.
a new deal? Are you under contract, or where are you at with this one?
Which one?
This one we're talking about in University Gardens.
He's been working on
University
it for a
Gardens.
while. Yeah.
We've been working on it for almost 2 months. Trying to get into it, try to get these people to give me a closing date, and just like any fucking day on a tropical island, they're like, "Hey, how you doing? I know we haven't talked to you for this long, but we can close on Friday." It's like, oh, thanks, guys.
Great. All right.
This is
I'll go
amazing.
get
And
my
you know what's
5
gonna
nickels
happen?
together, and we can close.
Yeah, let me just rub these 2 fucking pennies and see what happens. So
Yeah. I see some comments here, and people are talking about trying to, struggling to raise capital. But guys, if you have a deal like this where the floor is 32%, you'll be able to find the financing. Now, it might take
that's
you more
exactly.
than 3 days notice.
3 days is
It would.
tough.
3 days
Three days is tough, but
that's
not
really hard.
It's not impossible either.
No.
No, I'm pushing. This is a test for me.
Yeah. I mean, and if it's a $400,000 sale, like you were saying, then it's an amazing deal, and you really should be able to find some capital on that.
Yeah, at least if I can get all the money I need to raise for the closing, and then we can focus. I prefer to raise everything at once. I hate raising one and then the other, but
Yeah. Weren't you at one time looking to do a hard money loan on that one?
I still am. But the hard money guy needs about a week or so to get all the money here. So it's not enough time for him. So either I raise all the money and replace it.
Yeah,
but,
and they've held you out on the line for a month or two. I don't think you're gonna have any problem delaying them a few days.
Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm calling everybody. Everybody's hearing it for the first time right now. So I haven't called anybody yet. I'm gonna make 20 bajillion phone calls. Hopefully, have all the money by tomorrow.
And McKenna,
For
you said
everything.
people in the chat are saying, "Is it hard to raise money?" Was somebody saying they were having trouble raising money?
Yeah, somebody, Trendy was saying, who's got
Hola.
100,000 cash?
Salud.
This is a dream. I've reached out to 3 hard money
Pa
lenders,
llenar
and
la
they want
siete.
a 680 credit score and
Gracias.
15,000 cash. And then another requirement is 60,000 income for the past 2 years. So I don't, one, Trendy, I don't think you're talking to hard money lenders.
Nope.
It sounds like you're talking to a traditional mortgage broker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because these deals that we do, they're all based on the house. What's the deal? What's the property? And they don't ask about my credit. They don't ask about my income. It's all about what's the deal? How much are we going to make? Now, they're very expensive.
They're very expensive, and they do
Oh, yeah.
sometimes want to see you have skin in the game, right? Like,
Yeah.
so the
The
$15,000 sounds real,
Yeah.
but you can get that by partnering with someone who's got it if you don't have it. What it all comes down to, I think, is having a great deal. Like Adon just went through 2 deals where Adon will not have a problem finding $100 and something thousand for the Ponce deal, and he's not even going to have a problem finding the $200,000 for the other deal. These are both money makers, and Adon's got a proven track record of success. This is and by the way, say this again, Adon. Did you start looking for the money for either of these deals before you had a for sure thing in hand?
No, I never do that. Unless I have a
Yeah.
closing day or a contract. I hate talking about deals that I don't have. That happened at the beginning of the year where I thought I was closing the week after, and then the deal fell through. So I've been scrambling to find this other partner a deal.
And then you
we
just
did.
upset your partner who's committed to put up the money and
Yeah, no, he's been, honestly, I expected a lot more backlash, and they've been very patient with me. And hopefully tomorrow we're closing on the one I found. So that's good. But you never want to raise money for a pie in the sky thing.
Yep.
I like presenting these deals when I know I have a contract in hand. Like today, Ponce, I literally signed the contract today, made the deposit today, so I'm ready to go. So, and the same thing for university. University, we've been had a contract, but they've just been so slow to do anything. So,
And that happens a lot in Puerto Rico. It is just a
oh yeah,
slow place.
But I
yeah,
think if you needed to, you could go to the hard money lender guy who's in Apex. He's expensive, but your math lines up, and you may need to find someone who's got a little bit of money to put some skin in the game. Although you just had a closing, so you could probably do it too. It's just
no,
the hard money lender.
Daniel?
I need that money to live.
And I'm talking about Daniel. Daniel could be your hard money lender on that if you wanted, but he's expensive.
I've talked
think
to
he's-
Daniel. I have somebody else in mind. You know, Daniel's the last. How do I say this? It's a last resort for me because he requires certain things that I just. Yes, he requires certain things that I just don't want to give up right now. So I rather try to go through the headache of finding. And if it gets to the finish line, I know he's there and he's willing to work. He's not a bad guy. He seems like a good partner, but you know,
he closes. He
he
closes.
closes for sure.
Yeah. That's
So.
has a lot of value, guys, when you're working with a buyer who you know is going to close, a lender who you know is going to close. Those things have a lot of value, and it's nice to have someone like Daniel. But it's also nice to have someone with cheaper money. We have a few questions here in chat. You guys want to go through them? And
Yeah, could you go
maybe
through
we're
them?
talking about Bill Day's deal. I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, I didn't know you were. I thought you were off today, McKenna. What the hell?
I was running late at dinner. We were
Hiding.
talking and we were learning about Zurich, and then we were talking about Morocco with the waiter, and you know, it just got we got a little squirreled, and we looked up.
You
and we're
guys
like,
went
oh,
to
we gotta
Morocco
go.
too?
Yeah, we're planning to go. We have So, question: does owner buy finance? I'm sorry. Does finance by owner work in Puerto Rico? We call that owner finance.
Yes.
So tripping me up there. Yes,
Yes.
it does.
Absolutely. I think it's one of our preferred ways to make offers, especially on properties that aren't in bad condition. So if
That
the
and
thing's
long-term deals.
cash flowing, then you can make a seller financed offer. And we've done several of them on the island, both as a seller and as a buyer, where I've been the guy who's buying using the seller as the bank, and I've been the guy who's selling and I am the bank for my buyer. But definitely, because lending on the island of Puerto Rico is just a basic shit show. Seller financing is a real thing, and definitely, all of that stuff is negotiable.
Yep.
It does not mean that every deal can go seller finance. I mean, that if 100 properties sell on the island next month, that would probably be a lot. Maybe one or two of them are going to go with seller financing. Probably, 90% of them are going to be sold cash or bank financing, right?
Probably.
And that's true just about anywhere.
And that's traditional. If it's ready to move in, you probably do want to go with a bank. But if it needs work, if it needs to be creative, and a bank won't finance, owner financing is great.
Yeah, for sure. Who asked that question? Good question.
That was Raphael Muriel.
Yeah, Raphael. Good question. And we have a lot of content about that, about seller financing and why it should work on the island of Puerto Rico. But it definitely does work, and it works more now than it did when I showed up 8 years ago. So I showed up 8 years ago asking that question, and I was just hit with no after no after no. And we still, even when we showed up 8 years ago, we still one of our first 10 or 15 deals we did with a seller finance deal. So it's always worked, but it's gotten to be more common over the years.
All right, we got the Boston Strangler, and I don't know if you guys can see the messages on screen here. It's hard to tell on the phone. If you can, let me know. But the Boston Strangler says, Robbie, what's your advice for someone who only has $15,000 to invest but lives in the States? This is all of your savings.
Oh, geez. I would try to do a wholesale deal. You have $15,000. You've got more than enough money to put down a deposit. You want to make sure that when you make your offer and you put that deposit down, that you put it down on a contract that gives you a time period where you can get it back, because you want to protect that $15,000 like the gold that it is. And I would start looking for wholesale deals. So making 100 offers, finding deals. If we use the 70% rule as people who do fix and flips, you need to be probably using the 60 or 65% rule so that you can then sell it to someone like us for 65 or 70 cents on the dollar. And then don't let your $15,000 get lost. So do
Yep.
contracts where you have a 10 or 20-day inspection period that's basically a get out of jail free, and you take properties under contract, take them to a market like ours. If you're a member of our Apex group, we've got a community of people buying real estate. If you're in the free group, even you can post your deals there. Go to your local RIA as well. So get things under contract and then post them out to people who are looking to buy those types of things. But $15,000, you got way more than enough money to get started as a property wholesaler. You even probably have enough money with 15 grand in the bank to do a fix and flip. You just need to find a good partner for the other portion of the capital. So 15,000 gives you enough money to have some skin in the game. If you find a great deal, maybe you get a hard money loan, or you get someone to put up the lion's share of the money. You put your time, your effort, your 15 grand into the deal, and you do the fix and flip.
The biggest thing I'm hearing here, Boston Frangler, and I hope you're not killing anyone, is
Hopefully. That's blood
you
money he
want
has.
you want to increase your income with sweat equity. So the fix and flipping, it's you putting in your work, your effort, your brain, your time, and doing a fix and flip, getting a deal, taking it through renovation, selling it, and making a ton of money. Or on a wholesale deal, it's the same thing. It's you looking for deals, putting them under contract, selling them. So both of those are crucial when you don't have $1 million in the bank. If you want to be the third type of real estate investor, where you write a check and then get a bigger one back, you do need a little bit more money. And that has the advantage of you don't have to do all the work. You don't have to put in the time, the sweat equity. But that's definitely for anybody that's watching. If you don't have $1 million in the bank, you should be learning how to spearhead deals. How do you find deals? How do you put them together? Whether it's wholesaling, whether it's fix and flipping, you need to be the mover and you need to make things happen. And then that's how you grow your wealth. And then you do that for enough time and you end up with 25 properties and a bunch of money in the bank. And you're like, whoa, maybe I could be the third type of investor now that I've got some gray hairs.
Yeah.
I can go and help some other people that were like me. Let's see, we've got Kenneth Ramirez. Hey guys, just to let you know, the Garabo house I was checking out today at the foreclosure went for 109.
Wow, Kenneth, you see, so I mean, that deal, that's pretty typical, right? Like that started at like 55. You were thinking you wanted to go to maybe 60. You got to look at a lot of them. So Don and I have been doing that foreclosure thing for the last couple of years. We generally identify 10 to 11 or 12 deals, go to the sale on all of them and buy one of them. And most of the time, meaning 9 out of 10 times, this what just happened today happens to us, right? Like somebody goes and pays way more than you would pay. So we did just close one. I talked about it a little bit earlier, where we did a fix and flip that we did buy at the Tribunal sale, and that's the foreclosure sale. And we bought it for 121. We fixed it up. We spent a lot of money on that renovation. What did we spend? About 80 grand on that renovation, Adon? Something like that?
We spent enough money to give me gray hairs.
We spent a ton of money on that renovation, but we still sold it for $315 on a cash deal, and that's the one that we just cashed out. We're actually cashing out.
But
this
we also
week.
closed pretty high.
Yeah, we sold it for $315. We were originally targeting probably 280, and what happened was, the renovation took longer than what we had targeted. We probably thought it should have taken 6 months, and it took 9 or 10 months. And by the time we got done with it, well, we over renovated too. We made the second unit really nice, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath unit on the ground floor that didn't exist, basically. And that increased our renovation budget, but it also increased the value of the house. So that's why we were able to spend more money on the renovation, take a little bit more time than we had maybe hoped, but we still made a pretty phenomenal return, close to 50% cash on cash overall.
Yeah.
So in less than a year, our partners who put up the lion's share of the money, they put up $175,000, and Adon and I put in what we call the gap funding, and we had a what, all in 205, 206.
Yeah.
I think something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And this
So-
is, I want to attest to what we were talking about earlier. It's like, we started asking at 350, you know, we went all the way down to 315. You should never know. If I would have started at 300, I'd probably end up somewhere closer to 275.
Yep.
So
That's right.
You always start high. Always.
Yeah. And now that's Aguadilla, and Aguadilla,
It's hot.
maybe bailed us out, but it may be the hottest market on the island right now. Like Aguadilla is on fire. So the fact that we did well on a flip in Aguadilla, I'm not trying to pat us on the back, because Aguadilla is just doing really well. But I'll pat us on the back because fuck yeah, we just made 50% return.
That's pretty good.
It's not
Dude,
bad.
It's
for
hard
the
to beat
headache
50%.
that I went through, we all went through. It's like, fuck, man. I'm glad we sold it high.
James says, I used to want to be like Emmanuel, but he's not around anymore. Now I want to be like Adon. You hear that, Adon? You've got a super fan.
There you go.
You should try to be like Emmanuel and Adon.
Now you need
And
two
Emmanuel
babies.
is still around. He teaches the Wednesday wholesaling class
Yep.
in Apex. If you're interested in that, it's every Wednesday, or most Wednesdays. I
Yeah,
should say.
in fact, one of the deals that you named, the one that they want you to close on Friday, that have been screwing around for 2 weeks, that's an Emmanuel deal, right?
I have two deals from Emmanuel. So I'm closing Carolina tomorrow, hopefully. If I can knock on something.
Okay.
Toyota Tundra. So we're supposed to close tomorrow, and then we'll see what happens Friday. I'll probably push it till next week, but I'm gonna try to raise all the money we can this week. This is my favorite
around.
part, guys. The deal's done. We got the deals. Now my favorite part happens. It's when I go raise the money, and then after that, I stress out for the next 2 or 3 months while the renovations happen.
Yeah. Okay, we got a tough question here. BK Bree says, has Law 330 or 330 worked well for you removing past debts on home?
Is that the tax? Is that the tax modification
yes,
bill?
that's the crim, and we don't have. I mean, I don't know about you, Robert, but we don't really have experience with that. But we know plenty of people that do it all the time. So you just got to link up with the right people, like Juan Perlerm does it all the time.
Yeah.
He literally goes and gets it all reduced.
When we've bought at the foreclosure sale, definitely we've used that to reduce the taxes to 5 years plus the current. That has happened for us several times. I think that they've expanded the reach on that, and that you can apply it to other situations now as well. So I haven't personally done that, but I'm partners with Roberto Segui, who I know has done it a lot, and Adon mentioned Juan Perlan. We've done a dozen deals with him, and he kind of specializes in that. He'll actually help people to do it, and he'll take a portion of the savings. So if he goes and saves you, say, 20 grand, he might want 25% of the savings. So it might cost you 5 years and this year plus 5 grand for Juan doing it for you, but he's good at it.
And getting it done is
and Juan is in our Apex group, and we talk about him a lot just because he's one of the original guys that McKenna met when he actually was on the island, and so we've been doing deals with him now for what?
5 years.
When were you on the island?
That was 2019 or 2018.
We're talking about 6 years worth of deals with Juan, and we always have a deal going with.
And guys, we met him on the side of the road. I mean, it is crazy, the power of networking. Mary Lorenzo Adon, she says, Adon, keep me posted on university.
Oh, there you go, Adon. You got a potential partner, Mary Lorenzo wants to talk about that. Do you have her
No,
contact?
keep you posted, Mary. I'm calling you tonight.
There
I'm
you go.
calling
The moment
tonight.
this live stream ends,
Yep.
Kanza or Kazand and RJ, sorry, it's a small screen here, talking about that 15K to fix some and then sell to people like you. Can you give an example of what you would fix to make it attractive to people like you? I'm trying to learn everything. So to be clear, if we're doing a fix and flip, we are fixing to where someone can move in and live in it, and then we're selling to a homeowner who wants to live in the property. Or if we're doing a wholesale deal, we're not fixing anything.
Yeah. So if you're going to try and sell a house to a Don or McKenna or I,
You don't
and
fix
you're
anything.
just a wholesaler, you don't have to fix a damn thing.
Yeah.
What I was saying to the person who
Mhm.
has the $15,000, if you want to be a wholesaler, just use your money for the EMD, for the deposits. But I'm cautioning you. I don't even really want you to use your $15,000 for that, because what I want you to do is always have a contract that allows you to get out
That's
of
fucking great.
actually losing that deposit, which means you write your contract in a way it's like, hey, I'm a cash buyer. I need 30 days to close, and I need a 15-day inspection period. And during my inspection period, if I find something wrong with the house, if I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, if I catch the flu, if I sneeze the wrong way and I kink my neck and I decide that I want out, I get my money
Poop
back.
my
And
pants.
it's no harm, no fault, no foul. It's just when you're starting out with no money, you just can't afford to take a risk and lose any money. I mean, honestly, guys, today I've been doing this for 30 years. If I've got $5,000 at risk on something during the inspection period, I'm just 100% of the time making sure that I'm right about the renovation, that I'm correct about the comps, that I've got my contractors lined up, that
Mhm.
everything is what I thought it was. And even for me, like I'm not just going to go willy-nilly and risk losing even a few $1,000s because I've made a mistake. So that inspection clause inside of your contract, super important, whether you're a fix and flip investor or a wholesaler.
Yeah. Oh, you never can afford to lose $5,000 on an inspection period, because the only thing that it takes to cancel is an email. So if you're able to lose 5, 10,000 when you shouldn't, it's just like, man,
No,
you couldn't just send an email saying that you're canceling. That's all you have to do. So it's free money that you don't need to lose. Willie
Well,
Black
and
said, "Oh yeah, go ahead, Adon."
I'm sorry, just going. M- McKenna, when he teaches wholesaling, he if you're giving more than $500 for a deposit, you're committing a problem. So you're walking into a
I agree.
problem. Over here on the island, it's a little different because they want percentages, and even that stuff is negotiable. Our condado flip that we have right now, they wanted 15,000. We got them all the way down to 5. And you better believe Robert was calling me every day, being like, "Are we gonna do this thing? Do I need to get my
Yeah.
money back? Are we
Yep.
gonna do this thing?" And I'm like, "Robert, we're going, we're going."
We're
So
going. No, I was
so
that's exactly the deal I was just thinking about it, Dom. It's like we got $5,000 on the line, and as we're ending the inspection period, I probably called you. I definitely started calling you 2 or 3 days ahead of time, making sure we had all the ducks lined up, all our ducks are in a row, all the I's are
yep,
dotted, all the T's are crossed. We used that inspection period to just make sure the deal was rock solid. And
yep,
had we gotten to the 11th hour and the ducks weren't in a row and the I's weren't dotted and T's weren't crossed, I'd have canceled the contract. I mean, I had the
yeah,
email ready to go to say, hey guys, sorry, we don't want it.
Yep.
And we
yeah,
do want it. I mean, shit, we're going to make $500,000 on that deal. But
yep.
But if it wasn't ready to go,
it wasn't ready to go. I wasn't going to lose $5,000. There's no way.
I know. And we went through the headache of that 10 days. We spoke to like 6 or 7 different realtors, people that we knew and didn't know, to get 6 or 7 different opinions. We took, fucking 4 contractors. And oh, by the way, Robert, and this is something Robert and I always do in our deals. if Robert's involved, he's totally open to wholesaling the deal, whatever, until the day we have to actually sign it.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
he was wholesaling the deal, and I'm on the other side trying to, make sure we have the contractor bids and we have everything going on. So,
Yeah.
those 10 days are 10 busy days for everybody.
Yep. And Adon mentioned earlier that I like to do $500 deposits. When I'm direct to seller, and for everyone watching, steal this, I negotiate the timeline and the price and the inspection period. And then I say, great, I'm going to send you the contract. And I don't even talk about the deposit. And I put in the contract $100, $500 deposit. And I don't say a freaking word. And I let them read it. And if they want to negotiate it, great. A lot of people don't care. If you don't bring it up, they're like, oh, yeah, he has the 15-day inspection period. He can cancel whenever he wants.
So it doesn't matter if you have
$500
$100 or $5,000 or
It's the same thing. Now, I wouldn't do that. I make people put, when I'm selling, I do that. I do care. But a lot of people, when they don't. And so I don't make it an issue. I just give them the option, and then they can call me if they want to change it, and I'll change it.
Yeah.
I'll always go up. My next one is usually 1%. I like going to 1%. Everybody likes that number. It feels fair.
Mhm.
And 1% on $100,000, that's $1,000, that's not too bad either.
No. Yeah.
So I like 1%. I like $500. Willie has a good question. He says, when you have skin in the game and operate at the same time, do you get a share of the split of the money partners?
Yeah, that's a good question, Willie. So what we do as PR consultants and the deal that you just sold for us.
And there's a million ways to do it too.
But what we
Yeah.
did is we raised the money for the purchase, and we raised the money for what was a pretty good estimate at the time on the renovation. But keep in mind, we were buying that house at the foreclosure sale. So we ultimately decided to renovate more on the ground floor, and there was an overage, or there was more money needed. And so Adon and I put that money in, and we get our half for finding the deal and for working the deal. Our money came in because it was necessary, and that's the deal that we made. So we raised what originally we thought was the purchase and the renovation. It turned out to be the purchase and most of the renovation, and we did not get anything extra for the 25 or 30K that we put in.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do it that way. On a $5 million deal, you might just split it up between sweat equity and total dollars. But on a small fix and flip, or even a medium fix and flip, a large fix and flip, probably you don't. I don't think it's not easy to go raise $200,000 and then need to go raise more. That's tough.
I'll tell you,
Yeah,
this is
no,
what I've
I
done.
hate those calls.
This is what I've done for years and years, is when we do the 50-50 split where the money gets half and the work gets half, we go to our partner and we say, you're going to put in $175,000 for purchase and renovation. And I'm not coming back to you to ask for more money if I go over on the renovation. Or if I decide to, I'll give you a really good example, because this was exactly what we did on the McMansion. We raised the purchase and renovation, and then we decided to change the house from a 4-family house, so a pretty modest couple $100,000 renovation, into what we have today, which is the McMansion, where we spent damn near $1 million. We never went back to our partner. So our partner put up the original $350 to buy it.
They got a hell of a deal.
Another couple $100,000 for the renovation. And right now we've got $1.3 million in it. And I've never asked our money partner for any additional money. And when we sell it, he's still going to get his portion of the profit. Now, we're all going to get our money back, right? But I don't get an extra share from our money partner. That's the deal I made, and that's the deal I live with. That's what we did. So in this case, we ended up, in the McMansion case, Adon and I having way more money in that deal than our initial money partner. So that's how I do that, Willie. But guys, everything's negotiable too, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, you could say, hey, I'm gonna be the gap funding, but my gap funding has, we're gonna collect 10% interest on the money or something like that.
yeah.
Or something. You can get really creative with it if you really wanted to. But I feel like I agree with Robert's way of doing things. I don't want to go back to you and be like, oh well, we're going over, so you need to pay up more. Like I don't want to
Yeah,
have that phone
and keep in
call.
mind, guys, we're not doing syndications either. So we're not going out and raising a bunch of money for a hotel project and then having cost overruns where we need to go raise more money. Because
Yeah.
we've been there and done that too. That's very different. Like everybody's money will run out at some point. So you can't make those same kind of promises on a $10 million deal necessarily.
Yep.
It hurt really bad on the McMansion, actually. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to not selling. That's going to be a good day because we got a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
And I am not one of those guys that believes that you should always do everything with only other people's money. You guys have heard me if you watch this YouTube channel, you know that I believe that you got to get your money out there working as hard as you do. I have been fanatical for the last 20 years about investing my money. I know for sure, like Don and I just closed this flip, we're going to get that portion of our money back, 20, 30 grand. I've got that money ready to be reinvested and redeployed. And we start thinking about that ahead of time. You don't spend your money before you get it, but I have an idea, and I have for 20 years. I'm fanatical that I don't just take the money. I'm always trying to build that equity, that nest egg. So that money is going to come back in and then get redeployed rapidly. And we have identified where that will go, almost every time as it's coming in. There are some times where we do so well that we'll be sitting on a bunch of money where we don't have an investment for it, but most of the time we're ahead of time identifying where it's going to go next. I can't read the question, so I'll give it back to McKenna.
Mary says she's waiting for you, Don.
Even with the readers.
Note conference says 10 days to go.
Mary,
in all
I'm
directions
calling
at
you.
once. Yep. Nancy says, when dealing with the owner, do you give him the deposit or does it go to an attorney?
Oh, good
Always
question.
to an
Attorney.
attorney, Nancy. No,
Always
if you
to
give
attorney.
money to an owner, you're never going to get it back. So
Nope.
don't do that.
You guys,
And we're talking about direct to seller.
I'm thinking that if you're giving your money to the seller, just know that means they're spending your money.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
It is gone. And now, am I telling you that I've never done it? Of course I've done it, right? Like if the deal's good enough and I feel like I have a good enough relationship, I will take that risk. But that's something that, generally speaking, and if you're sitting there with 15 grand in the bank, and we've been talking about that during this call today, don't do that. Don't just give your money to the seller. Set it up with an escrow agent. Go to an attorney's office and put the deposit money on file with somebody's escrow account. If you're in the States, most of the big realtor agencies will have escrow accounts, and you can trust them. Title companies everywhere will have escrow accounts. Funny enough, it's a little bit difficult to find escrow agents and escrow accounts on the island of Puerto Rico, but they do exist. We work with a lady named Nicole Stowell, who I think is excellent. She gives great service, and she has an escrow account. So we'll often write contracts and have her hold the escrow. But you can always find someone who will do it, no matter where you are. So, yeah, that's a really, really good question, Nancy. Here, we got it.
Yeah, and if you're doing direct to seller, I would be like McKenna mentioned earlier. I put in all the terms, I make all the decisions, and we're closing with my attorney. And like Robert said, most attorneys here on the island have an escrow account, so you can rest assured you can leave the money with your attorney and their account, and you can show that as a deposit for the seller. So I wouldn't. I mean, I'd be open maybe their attorney, but yeah, again, it's a trust thing at the end of the day.
Yeah. We've got one last question from, well, we got two more questions we can run through. What are some areas in PR that we should focus on that are most attractive to buyers?
Ponce.
Ponce's good. Aguadilla.
Yeah, Aguadilla's on fire. We talked about that. I honestly think that if you're in the fix and flip game, the entire island is your playground. And and Adon, you can back me up on this because you kind of pointed it out a couple of years ago. It's like you can't easily sell. There aren't a lot of people like Adon and I that will buy the dirty stuff. But once you get it fixed up, people want to live in it. Puerto Rico is filled with people that want to be homeowners, and so just about anywhere on the island, if you bought something and then renovated it so that it's nice and they can go get a bank loan, you're going to have people that want to live in that town, that they can go and qualify with a mortgage from the bank. So I like everywhere, but I have recent content out there where I name the towns that I really like, and I think I rattled off. I think the list was 5, and I expanded it to 8 before the end of the video or something like that. But Cabo Rojo, Rincon, Aguadilla, Aguada. I mean, pretty much just take the map and go from Ceiba on the northeast coast and go all the way across the north coast down into Añasco. I mean, even Cabo Rojo, and now we're really high on Ponce as well. So I really stand by the whole island.
I would think about it like this as well. It's like, look, there's a 300,000 home deficit here. Like, you know, there's not enough for people to live in, and by the time a builder goes in, takes 3 years to build out 150 units or more, you could have done at least 90 flips in 3 years, hopefully, right? If you're aggressive enough.
Yeah, I mean, 20 or 30 flips a year on the island of Puerto Rico. I mean, shit, we did that in 8 months the first year we were on the island. I think we did 60 flips, and I'm talking fix and flips, right? And we came and started from scratch, didn't know a soul on the island and didn't speak the language. And so yeah, if you're there and you're working it and you're funded well enough, you can definitely do 20, 30 flips a year.
So that's how I look at it. And the good thing about the homes that we're talking about, they're basically ready to go. As long as you're not oceanfront or anything fancy like that, it's a basic home in a basic area. You're pretty much good to go and fix it, put it back in living standards, and get it to somebody who really needs a home. So
yeah,
that's way better than going through a permitting process to build ground up here, which supposedly supposed to get better, but I haven't seen that anywhere. So,
all right, we've got one last question from Willie, guys, and then we've got. Can you explain what you mean by gap funding and syndication?
Yeah, well, two completely different things. So when we're doing a flip, Willie, and for you guys, we talked about this. The Aguadilla flip, Willie sold it for us. So. We bought that at the foreclosure sale, and our partners, our money partners, they put in the purchase price and what our estimated renovation costs were. And then our commitment to them was, if we went over on the renovations or changed the renovations in a big way like we did on that job, where we basically enclosed the whole bottom part of the house and took something that was a tiny little apartment and made it the nicer part of the house. When we did that, we didn't go back to them. So we call that gap funding, and that's that 30 grand. We just put that in. It doesn't change the deal for anybody. Everybody at the end of the day gets their money back, and then after everybody has their money back, you're figuring out what the profits are, and it was still a 50-50 split. The original money got half of the profits, and Adon and PR consultants got half of the profits for finding the deal and doing the work and putting in that gap funding. Syndications, completely different. Syndications are, man, and I don't do a lot of syndications. So
a syndication is a lot of paperwork that could start costing you anywhere from 10 to 30 grand. you have to file. I think it's a FCC or something like that, or with the what's the Securities and Exchange Commission?
Yeah, the
So
SEC.
you
Yeah.
have to file with them, and basically what a what a syndication is that you're going to put money in and you're going to get a percentage on your money eventually when or however it's structured.
Yeah, so a
That's the easiest
syndication
way
is
I can explain
generally
it right now.
set aside. It's generally set aside for bigger deals, right? So
Yeah,
for
you're
us,
talking
if we
about
were
$100
going to
million
do
or
a
something.
syndication, the one that I did do on the island that I can point to right now, I have a trailer park and a hotel in Rincon, Puerto Rico. And when we bought that, we bought it for a couple of $1 million with some seller financing. So someone asked about whether seller financing works. It did. We got
Mhm.
really good terms on that, but we wanted to do some CapEx expenditures, and so we syndicated and we raised, I think we raised another couple $1 million, maybe $2.5 million. And that meant that there are multiple people who put money into that deal. And we had an offering doc, and we set it up as a syndication. We paid the money so that we could go and have people invest in that project that we really didn't know. That was why we did it. It was gosh, man, it was 5, 6 years ago when we did that. So we
Did you do
we
that in
we, we
Kaihor as
raised the
well?
money. We raised the money on that really with people that I'd never done business with before, that I didn't know, and that is not my MO, right? Like that one, doing those multi-million-dollar projects back at that time, that was like, one of only a handful that I'd ever done. I was really not in that game. And then my partner on that was a guy who had done syndications in the States. And so he kind of handled that paperwork and set it up. I prefer to do the one-off flip. So you do not need to syndicate any of the houses that we talked about here today. So Don's buying a house in Ponce for $100,000. You don't need to do a syndication. He just goes and finds a partner who's going to put in the money. He does the work, and we've got a community of people who are doing deals together, so we know each other. Syndications are for those
It-
times where it's a much bigger project, and maybe you're
That
going to have 8 or 10 different people invest into the deal, and you want to make sure you dot all your I's, cross all your T's, and you stay out of trouble with three-letter agencies. So that's a big difference. Willie, you're
another
probably
thing
just
for
going to
this
do a
is
partnership.
another thing about the syndication is if you want to advertise, for example, Grant Cardone, when he advertises for a big flip, he has a big long-term play he has in
Yeah, a
Miami, for
$50 million
example. He
multifamily.
Yeah, where he's going to take in probably 300 million or some ridiculous number like that, and you're going to partner with anybody and anybody. That's where you look at syndications, because us right now, I can't go to YouTube and put ad dollars behind this and say, hey, invest in my Ponce deal, because that can get you in trouble with the three-letter agencies.
Well, and think about that.
That's
We're
like
not even doing that on Shark Tank with your deal tonight, where
no, we're just
you're going
talking
to look
about
for,
deals.
yeah, you're going to look for partners on the deals that you have, but you're going to
Yeah,
look to people that you already have done deals with, that you
correct.
already know, that are already in our community. You're not just opening this up to the world saying, hey, I've got a house, who wants to give me some money?
Yeah.
You can get yourself in serious trouble doing that kind of stuff, guys. So the syndication stuff is for bigger deals. It's for those times when you're going to be inviting people to invest into your deal, and you have investors, rather than what we like to do is one-off partnerships. One guy brings the money, one guy does the work, and maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's two guys that bring the money. But it's generally going to be people that you're close to, that you already know well. In our case, obviously we do deals with people for the first time, and that will be the first time. But we have a relationship with those people. They're a part of our community. They're people who've come to events with us, who we've gone and had coffee. We're friends, and we talk a lot and a long time generally before we get into a partnership with someone who we don't know.
Yes. Yes. And guys, the more and finish this topic. When you're raising money, be careful who you're raising the money from. You don't want to take some guy's last $10,000 that he needs to feed his 3 kids with. You
Yeah, no,
wanna
that's a
make sure
great
that
point.
you want to make sure that look, this guy is understanding that this is a risk, and I might say it takes 6 months, and maybe you know, and-
You're
but
breaking
hey,
up, Adon.
you hear me
You
now?
broke up. You broke up.
Fucking shit. You
You're
heard that?
there. You're
All right.
back. Heard that.
Like I was saying, you don't want to take some guy's last $10,000. You want to make sure that the person you're partnering with is using this money to invest, and it's not gonna affect their life in a way that they can't live, a normal life until they get their money back. So, I've done plenty of things that when I'm vetting and talking to people, motherfucker took my parking. I will go through a criteria in my head to make sure, like, all right, and I ask them directly, like, hey, if we take this money right now, are you gonna be okay?
Yeah.
Are your kids going to be able to eat tomorrow and for the next 9 months, or 6 months or whatever, how long I say the project's going to take? Because I just don't want to, it's enough pressure to have other people's money and go through the projects. You also do not want to have the pressure of like someone's literally not eating because they gave you their last 10 grand. So just be
You're
careful when you're
exactly
doing
right.
that stuff.
I mean, so earlier we had a guy ask, what would you do with $15,000? Notice I didn't say, hey, give it to Adon to do this deal that he wants to do tonight.
Yeah.
I did say
One, I
give it
don't
to
know
me.
that guy. And two, he told us it's his last $15,000. We're just not going to take somebody's last $15,000.
Yeah.
And he doesn't need to invest that $15,000. He needs to protect that $15,000, invest his time, start teaching himself skill sets, and then he's going to make that $15,000 grow and grow and grow. And what'll happen is one day he'll come back and he'll say, hey, now I've got $150,000, Robert. Can I do a deal with you? And then we're going to go, yeah, let's go do a deal, right? So we'll build a relationship over time. That's how we see that going. So,
Well, guys, it's been a long night for us over here in Italy. We'll report back from the Olympics. We'll let you know how.
oh yeah, we're going to see the USA hockey team play Sweden tomorrow.
Oh, I didn't hear it's Sweden.
It's Sweden.
That's awesome.
It's going to be a fun game. So I was hoping it was going to be Denmark, but Denmark apparently sucked. So we're going to go see the U.S. hopefully beat Sweden.
All right, guys, it's good to see everybody. We'll see you next week.
Yep. You guys, if you want to have a deal, if you want to showcase your deal like Adon did, 2 deals or 3 deals tonight, we do that through our Apex group. If you guys are a part of Apex, we've got a form that you can submit your deal. This is a couple weeks in a row where no one's submitted a deal, so I'm encouraging you guys to submit some deals. Let's get some deals to look at. If you're watching this and you're wondering what the hell is this Apex he's talking about, that's our group where we meet with them weekly. We teach a master class. It's a school group. It's a little bit more intentional than our free group. Our free group's a great place to network. We got a few thousand people in there. There's a couple hundred people in our Apex group, and we're actively doing deals with them. And that's where we most of the time are getting the deals that get presented on the Shark Tank. So if you want to be a part of that, there's a link in the description of all of our videos for that. Or if you're in the free account, you'll be able to upgrade to the Apex group. I think it costs $127 a month. There's no contract. It's a great place if you're serious about being a real estate investor to come and meet a whole bunch of other great people that are like-minded that want to do deals with you.
Yep. Link is in the bio. Just click on Rob or the flip-flop flipper, and link should be right there on the YouTube header. Easy to find. Normally we post it, but
We're doing this from my cell phone.
That's right.
I'm usually doing it from my cell phone, but these other guys aren't. So All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. Call me if you're interested.
This is Emmanuel, and in just 3 weeks, he found the deal of a lifetime, negotiated an offer, got it accepted, found the EMD from a third party, me, and then found the buyer to sell it. Now, how did he do all of that? He's a member of the Flip Flop Flipper Apex community. And inside of Apex, he was able to find the buyer who's an operator. He was able to find someone who wanted to put up the money, and he's got the deal of a lifetime done and is going to make $40,000 on his very first deal. So if that sounds good to you, and you want to be like Emmanuel, comment Apex and I'll send you the link.